Okay, so in today's update about JasmyCoin, I want to check out specifically this move down in here and tell you what is going on in this phase and why do I think soon we may see another move on the upside. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones, and unfortunately you still have to forgive me for my terrible voice. I don't know what is wrong with me. It's been, I think, about like 8-9 days since I'm like this. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'm gonna be a bit better. Until then, just bear with me. I would like to apologize for that. Let's go on 15-minute time frame and see what is happening. You see, in my opinion, there's a good chance that we are still on our way to have a correction structure, and this probably is going to be into our wave 4, and then we're gonna have another move on the upside into wave 5. Now, there is a chance that we may have a correction to about this point, and this might be our final move up into wave 5, and here is how I can argue it. You see, I guess, yes, it is possible to find an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure to about this point into our wave 4, and then maybe call this move on the upside into our wave 5. But I think this scenario, for now at least, is a bit unlikely for two important reasons. Number one, finding an impulse in this phase up is a bit of a challenge, so makes perfect sense to say this is at least not going to be my primary case. Second reason, in this move up into wave 5, we didn't actually take the height of our wave 3. Now, it is possible to have something like this. This is called a truncated wave 5, but truncated waves are quite rare, and that again makes me say this probably is not going to be our primary case. But what if I am wrong and this is actually happening? In that case, I expect this move down in JASMY to continue for quite some time in order to reach, I would say, probably to around these levels. Why is that? You see, in H4 time frame, this move on the upside happened a bit too fast, and as a result of it, we created a very important gap right around here between 0.9 of a cent to about, let's say, like 1.1 cents area, and I believe gaps 95+% of the time are going to get filled. So if this is a correction structure on the same degree as this whole impulsive structure on the upside, makes sense to expect a deep move down, because on a higher degree, if we are actually bullish in JasmyCoin, and again, even that is up for debate, but let's be optimistic. Let's say if we are bullish, okay, this is a wave 1, this is a correction for wave 2, and one very important characteristic of a wave 2 is being very deep and a strong move on the downside. This is a very important point, and it's why I expect JASMY to reach to about these levels in case that this 5 wave on the upside is complete. For now, this is going to be my alternate case. My primary scenario suggests this is actually a correction structure into our wave 4 to around these areas. Now, for the pattern, what can we expect? I think we can actually argue that we are having an A, B, C in form of a zigzag, which the subways for it are going to be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into a correction for wave B, maybe ABC, maybe WXY, maybe even a triangle, not really that important, and then another impulse on the downside into our ceiling. Let's go on the live chart, and I think it's best to go on maybe like 5-minute time frame, and I don't usually go on these low time frames, but this is for the sake of educational purposes, so I'm thinking it's fine. Okay, so I believe starting from this point, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, a very clear one, followed by that. This is probably, I think, yes, we can say maybe it's an A, B, C in form of a flat structure, and from this height, if I'm able to find an impulse down, a complete one, we can argue that the short-term low is in and we're gonna have another move up soon. But I think we may see some more downward price action in here. Here is why. In my opinion, there's a very, very good chance. This is 1, this is 2, this is wave 3, this is probably to about this point, a corrective movement into wave 4. I would say probably an ABC flat structure, and this is another move down into wave 5, and this is important on a higher degree. odds are that this is actually into a wave 3, and then we're gonna have correction for 4 and at least one more move on the downside into wave 5. Now, on a higher degree, at that point, I am able to tell you that maybe we completed the sub waves for, you know it, like we said earlier, an ABC zigzag into hopefully this wave 4, and it's gonna be time to get another move up into wave 5 in order to take the highest side in here for the first target, about, let's say, 1.7 cents. And if we're gonna get our move up starting from these areas, that means we can expect like a 30-35% move on the upside, which is really not that bad. Now, do I have some more reasons to believe in the short term we may see some more downward price action in JasmyCoin? The answer is yes, and that comes down to classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances. You see, in the short term, on H4 and H1 time frame, I'm not really able to find a whole lot of strong supports in here. And sure, in H4 time frame, we do have an area of demand, but it's not really that important. If you put a gun in my head, I'm gonna say JasmyCoin is gonna go down and reach to about the next important H4 and also daily time frame support, which is about, let's say, 1.3 cents right in here. And it means, well, okay, from the current point, after having another correction into our wave 4, we can expect maybe like a 7 to 10% move on the downside. And then if this is truly a correction into this wave 4, from this area, we have to get a decent bounce and take this high right in here. And after, okay, fair enough, we can have a deeper move on the downside. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. In JasmyCoin, one way or the other, I think we are most likely going to have in the short term another move on the upside. Here is one way. This seems to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure down. And what happens after an impulse down? Some sort of a move up. And if I am wrong and my primary scenario is not in play, okay, this is going to be a correction structure, and in it, we're going to reach probably to about these areas, and then we're going to have another move down. Now, if I am right, and this is an A, B, C zigzag to about this point, well, okay, after it, we can expect another move up, and in that phase, we are most likely going to take the highest side in here for the first target, about 1.7 cents, but I think we can go a bit higher than that, and then it will be time to have a deeper move on the downside. For now, my primary case suggests that we are completing an impulsive structure, and do not get me wrong, right around these areas is absolutely not a long opportunity. No, I'm gonna wait a bit more and see, are we going to, after completing this impulse, get a correction structure down? Why is that? Because there is a chance that this move up was caused as a result of a short squeeze process, meaning this doesn't actually have a lot of power. And well, in that case, the final low is not going to be in yet, and we can expect maybe like another sharp move down in order to take the lowest low. That's why I want to see in JasmyCoin a correction structure down, a slow and choppy move on the downside. And if I see the rest of structures, you know what, fair enough. I'm going to call this point our final low and say maybe on a higher degree, we are having a wave 1 in here and then correction for wave 2. And then we can expect another big move up into wave 3, 4, 5. For now, let's not talk about this scenario. This is for the next couple of weeks. Let's just, for like very short term, focus on this move down, and then after it, let's hope that we're going to get another move on the upside. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in JasmyCoin's price charts. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.